What's up guys, now today we're going to be talking about the iPad Air versus the iPad 3rd generation. And to start off this compare and contrast, I'm just going to be showing you a couple of pictures that I've taken. And then after I've shown you those pictures, we're going to talk about the compare and contrast in more depth. Okay, now you've seen the pictures, let's get down to measurements now. We'll start off with the iPad 3rd gen, which is, the height of it is 9.5 inches, the width of it is 7.31 inches, and the depth of it is 0.37 inches. And the weight of it is actually 1.44 pounds. So if you compare that to the iPad Air, which is 9.4 inches in height, 6.6 inches in width, 0.29 inches in depth, and the overall weight is a pound, which is like a dramatic difference. One thing I would like to say is that they've actually upgraded the speaker system on the iPad Air to stereo speakers, I believe. So that actually makes it a little bit louder, but it's actually noticeably louder. So if you play like a song on the iPad Air and then you transfer it to the iPad 3, you'll notice the sound quality difference. And for me, I thought that was something that I really wanted. I wanted my iPad to be louder, and actually with the iPad Air, it is louder now. And also, I've actually got the product red smart case, and it's a hassle. I mean, putting it on is easy, but taking it off is a whole different category. I mean, like, I've actually got my iPad 3 charger, but I've bought the Lightning to 30-pin dot connector, and I can't actually use that with the case on. It just doesn't fit. So that's kind of a downfall. But what I have noticed is that for some reason my battery is lasting a lot longer on my iPad Air. I mean, compared to the iPad 3rd gen. That's probably because of the IGZO technology that Apple was rumored to have actually put into the iPad Air. If you've read some articles about it, they said it actually adopts IGZO technology. That's how they've got the iPad Air to be lighter, thinner, and more power efficient as well, as paired with Apple's A7 processor, which is actually, a lot of people thought that it was actually the same processor from the iPhone 5S, which it actually isn't. It actually runs at 1.4 gigahertz as compared to the iPhone 5S, which runs at 1.3 gigahertz. I mean, as everyone was probably expecting before the new iPad came out, it would have had like an X in the name as compared to previous iPads, where the iPhone version would be an A5, iPad version the same year would be an A5X, then an A6 and an A6X and an A7, and as I made a claim to my previous video, it would have been an A7X, because that's what the majority of the people were expecting, but it actually is a tweaked A7 chip. So now I'm just going to show you probably one or two videos, just a speed comparison between the iPad Air and the iPad 3, opening two apps, and we'll just see that if there's actually a noticeable increase. The iPad 3 is like 2 years old now, so we'll do a comparison and see what the results are. What we're going to do is just going to open up two apps on each, and we're going to try hit them at the same time. I mean, it's going to be hard considering that they're like very far apart, but we're going to try and get them anyway. So we're going to open up Dragon Veil first. Let me just go back into the screen and go 3, 2, 1, and push. Okay, iPad Air's already up. Okay, so which one will load first? And it should be the iPad Air, I mean, by the A7 chips, and that's got I think that's got an A5X chip in there. Well, that's already loading. Okay, there we go. The iPad Air is taken over and it's stopped right there. So we click there, done. Which one will load first? Hit play on this one. There we go, already into the game. So the iPad Air has actually loaded up quicker, while the iPad 3 is still actually loading for some reason. There, now it's come up. So as you can see, that was a dramatic speed difference. What we're going to attempt to do, we're going to try and get to actual Pages apps. So where's Pages? There they are. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and let's go for it. So I'd say the iPad Air just a half, like literally less than half a second quicker when you just open that. So I mean, even if it's a small increase, an increase nevertheless. Alright guys, time to wrap up this video now. Final thoughts on the iPad Air. Should you or should you not buy it? Yes, you should. It's very slim. It's very, very light in the hand. I mean, some people were like, you know, people when they read at night or if they're just watching stuff when they fall asleep, and that if that iPad 3 or 4 hits them, and they're gonna know about it. I mean, they're gonna wake up with a bruise on their nose or something because that iPad is heavy. I mean, the iPad Air, it's very, very light in the hand. I mean, compared to the iPad 4. I mean, I done a slap test earlier, which is just like, I got the iPad 3 and I just like, from dead weight, I didn't try and force it down, just in a dead weight drop on my leg, and it was like a big slap, like as you can hear. And compared to the iPad Air, it was just like a, I don't even know if you can hear it, but yeah. And should you really get the iPad Air? I think you should. I mean, it's a big improvement since the iPad 3 and 4 in overall size, in overall weight. But the one problem I have with the iPad Air is that it feels, I know you lot are probably going to be thinking this is a bit weird when the reviewer is going to say this, but it feels cheap. Not the back of it, it's just the screen. I mean, do you know when I'm hitting the screen, you can hear like, it makes like a noise. I mean, on the iPad 3rd gen, it makes like a hard noise, so it doesn't feel like it's plastic or anything. But if you do it on the iPad Air, it makes like a little like noise like this, like that kind of noise on the screen. It makes it feel that it's cheap, the screen. Well, that's what I get from it. I mean, that's the thing that I don't really like about the iPad Air, is the fact that when you hit the screen or when you're typing or stuff, you'll hear these knocks, you'll hear these knocks. And if you do it with the old iPad 3 and 4, you'll hardly hear them. You'll probably hear something, but you won't hear like as much as you'll hear on the iPad Air. But it's up to you what you want to do. I just wanted to show you like a quick little demonstration of the knocking noises I was telling you about. So look, if you listen to this, look when you're typing like. And look, I ain't even got no nails, so it's not even the fact I've got nails, but look. And on the iPad 3, see, it's still there, but it's not as prominent and not as loud as. Alright guys, that's my compare and contrast between the iPad Air and the iPad 3rd generation. Now, I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was an informative video. And if you did like it, don't forget, it doesn't hurt to give a thumbs up. I mean, it really helped me out and let me know that I'm doing something right in these videos. Feel free to drop your comments down below also. Let me know what you think about the iPad Air or any iPad. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And guys, I'll see you in the next one.